I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of Ezra, chapter 5. Let's focus on verses 1 through 5. The prophets Haggai and Zechariah, the son of Iddo, prophesied to the Judeans in Jerusalem and Judah. And they prophesied to them in the name of the God of Israel. And then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, began rebuilding the house of God in Jerusalem. With them were the prophets of God, helping them. No sooner had they begun when Tanai, the governor of the territory beyond the Euphrates River, Shethar-Bozani, and their colleagues came and asked them, "Who gave you permission to rebuild this house and to finish this wall? What are the names of the men putting up this building?" But the eye of their God was on the leaders of the Judeans, and so they did not stop them until the matter could come before Darius, and a reply in writing be received. Now, turning from Ezra chapter 4 into chapter 5, we move ahead 14 years from the reign of Cyrus to that of Darius the first. Cyrus was killed during a battle in 530 BC, and Darius came to the throne in 522 and reigned until 486 BC. And he was Persian by birth and brought up in Zoroastrianism. It's easy for you to say. That is a religion that is based on a concept of an ongoing struggle between good and evil. Now, Darius established this religion as the state religion of Persia, and it was most likely the motivation for his support of rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem. So while he did not believe in the Lord, the rebuilding of his temple simply provided balance of the religions that were always supposed to be in some kind of tension. That is, within Zoroastrianism. God uses a myriad of means and motivations to surgically accomplish his purposes on earth. And yet none of his human scalpels, even believers, are sterile. So the mood of God's people at the time of Ezra chapter 5 was one of abject depression. The people were so downhearted that they abandoned their attempt to renovate the temple. And they never wanted to see another brick or trowel. The two prophets, Haggai and Zechariah, had their work cut out as they tried to cure the cancer of discouragement, which was raging among the Jews. And that's what discouragement is, really, isn't it? Cancer. It begins growing slowly and unseen, and by the time you notice it, discouragement has traveled throughout the community, and it threatens to kill progress in its tracks. Just think about how people had to wear these masks during coronavirus, long after experts were saying that they were doing nothing to slow the spread of the virus. Most believers in Jesus feel dejected at some time, especially while doing the Lord's work. There are Saturday evenings when even a pastor vows to never preach another sermon, and when Sunday school teachers are just ready to quit their classes. Volunteers grow weary of their duties in the midst of their busy lives, and the layman who goes out sharing the gospel among the community, well, sometimes he wonders if all of his efforts are really worthwhile after a street full of people refuse to engage in spiritual conversations. Yeah, Ezra chapter 5 can teach us how to cope with discouragement. God did not forsake his people in their dejection, nor did he leave them to wallow in their self-pity. Instead, God sent two prophets to spur them on to action with God's word. Zechariah and Haggai prophesied to the Judeans in Jerusalem, and then they set out to join in the work. You know, the gospel speaks best with sleeves rolled up. The prophets were not simply messengers who told the people to have courage. They were also willing to practice what they preached. And that's exactly what we're called to do. To know God through his revealed word, and then roll up your sleeves and get to work. If we want to see revival, we must mix the spit of our preaching with the sweat of our brows. All the best leaders are co-laborers. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And your giving to Groundworks Ministries transforms lives. Would you consider making a donation to Groundworks Ministries today? We need your monthly support now more than ever. Donating is secure and easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, there's another way to help us, and that is to tell people about Groundworks Ministries. Share these podcasts with your friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.